Have you ever looked around at your small and quiet circle of people and felt a creeping shame about it, wondering why others seemed to collect friendships so easily, while yours could be counted on one hand? Have you ever sat alone on a Friday evening, scrolling through the lives of people surrounded by crowds and laughter, and felt that your own life was somehow smaller or less worthy because yours looked nothing like that? Have you ever been made to feel that having few friends was a sign of failure? A sign that something in you was broken or difficult or simply not enough to make people want to stay? If yes, then this story is for you. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling golden hills and a wide blue sky that seemed to go on without end, there lived a quiet and thoughtful young man named Owen, a bookkeeper by trade, who kept careful records with steady hands and moved through his days with a gentle and presence that most people admired from a distance, but very few ever took the time to truly know. Owen had only two close friends in the entire village: a kind carpenter named Joel, who had known him since childhood, and an older woman named Ruth, who lived next door and shared long and unhurried conversations with him over tea on slow afternoons. And while Owen treasured both of these people deeply and completely, he carried a quiet and persistent feeling that his life was somehow lacking because the number was so small. He watched other people in the village move through their days, surrounded by large and lively groups, laughing loudly at the market, gathering in noisy circles at the inn, always with someone new on their arm, and always with somewhere busy to be. And he compared his own quiet evenings and small table to theirs, and could not stop the feeling that he had somehow failed at something important that everyone else had managed to figure out. One spring afternoon, while helping Joel repair the wooden fence around his garden, Owen admitted out loud for the first time the quiet shame he had been carrying, telling Joel that he sometimes wondered if there was something wrong with him, something that kept people at a comfortable distance and made deep and lasting friendship feel so much harder for him than it seemed to be for everyone else. Joel set down his tools, leaned against the fence post, and looked at Owen with the calm and certain eyes of a man who had thought carefully about this long before today. He pointed without a word to the two fruit trees standing at the far end of the garden, one a tall and wide apple tree, spreading its branches in every direction, the other a smaller and quieter fig tree, standing close to the wall. And then he pointed to the basket sitting beneath each one, the apple tree. Joel said in an unhurried and thoughtful voice, "Gives fruit to everyone who passes. Its branches are wide and its gifts are many, and it feeds a great number of people across a great number of seasons. But look carefully at how much of its fruit falls before it is ever picked, how much of it is taken without a second thought, and how much of it simply rots on the ground because there were too many apples and not enough people who truly valued what they were holding." He paused and looked at the fig tree beside the wall. The fig tree gives less, far less, but every single fig it carries is tended carefully, eaten slowly, and remembered long after the season has passed, because when something is rare and given with care, it is never taken for granted and never forgotten. He looked back at Owen with steady and honest eyes. You are not a broken apple tree, Owen. You are a fig tree. And the people who are patient and aware enough to find you and stay near you are the ones who will never forget what they found. Because a small and genuine circle of people who truly know you and truly choose you is worth more than a crowd of 100 who simply enjoy your company when it is convenient for them. Owen stood quietly beside that fence for a long time after Joel went back to his work, turning those words over in his mind the way you turn a smooth and solid stone in your hand, feeling the weight of them slowly replace the shame he had been carrying for so long with something far more sturdy and far more true. He stopped comparing his table to others that week, stopped measuring his worth by the noise around him or the absence of it, and began instead to pour the energy he had wasted on comparison back into the 2 relationships he already had. And something in the quality of his daily life shifted in a way that no crowd had ever been able to give him. A deep and steady warmth that came not from being surrounded, but from being truly known. So, my friend, if you have been quietly ashamed of your small circle, if you have mistaken depth for shortage and loyalty for limitation, then carry this truth with you gently from today. You do not need many people. You need the right ones. Because one person who truly sees you and genuinely chooses you is worth more to your heart and your life than 100 who are simply passing through. And the quietness of your circle is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign of your standard. Be the fig tree. Give carefully, and let the right ones find you. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Tallies with English, where every story helps you learn English and learn life.